everybody, and welcome to another edition of Tech Talk Tuesday. It's 420, and if that doesn't get you excited, then you're probably employed.
And not by a tech company.
You're probably not by a tech company. You know what? Or maybe you're just so far in the celebration that you started watching this, right? And you were like, wait, that's not what I wanted to watch, man. But you're like not going to get up and change it now.
That's right.
It's funny. That's actually the origin story for how Neil started co-hosting.
Pretty much. I just bumbled my way into StreamYard and I just keep coming back.
That's right. Sometimes you just bubble your way into greatness.
That's
or this show. And but I'm glad you're here, Neil. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great, other than Mother Nature deciding that it's back to January in late April. But other than that, I'm doing great. How about you?
Right. It looks a lot like Christmas out, and it's definitely not.
That's right.
So, we got a good show. At least I hope so, right? Now, you know what? Let's be confident in it. We've got a great show today. We got our usual cast of characters. We got that one guy, Chad. We've got the other guy, Aaron, and then there's us in between, right? But actually, the first story I'm like really, really kind of into because I often wondered, like, okay, what do artists actually make? Like every time because I have an Apple Music subscription, and I don't know if you do, but you use Spotify a lot though.
Yeah, I use Spotify over Apple Music, mostly because I'm too cheap to pay for Apple Music.
Yeah, I didn't want to say so, but yeah, I mean, maybe if I started paying you. Oh wait, we are not getting paid at all for this. But actually, yeah. So Chad has a story actually about that very topic.
Last week, Apple threw down the gauntlet against Spotify when they announced directly to music artists that they would earn roughly a penny each time a subscriber streamed one of their songs. Now, this is double the amount a music artist earns when from Spotify or other platforms, which could further help encourage artists to only provide their music on Apple. Given the hundreds of millions of dollars at stake and already multiple legal battles going on here in the US and abroad to determine the future of the music streaming industry, this is a major move on Apple's part, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Back to you guys.
I'd like to introduce our newest sponsor, Yeti.
That's right. No, I think this is really neat. I'm glad that artists are getting paid for their music. And yeah, I mean, would I like to see it continue to go up? Yeah. But this is a great starting point for them. And something that I think that people may not know is that these platforms that actually have your music that you're able to stream actually have to pay the record companies to have them on their platform. So they are losing money in both areas there. So the way that they try and recoup that is via like premium subscriptions, like Apple Music, Spotify Premium, things like that. So yeah, I'd love for I'd be willing to pay more if I knew the artist was getting more of that cut. But I mean, it's Apple and Spotify and all of these other companies. I'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, now that, when we started off with like 99-cent songs, it was just kind of really didn't have a good place to go from there, probably. So, but it's cool. It's long kind of been a secret, right? Like, okay, well, how much are people actually getting paid? What does that divide look like? I'd love to see like an infographic. Maybe we can dig that up for next time, just to kind of see what's the real split. Like, where's this stuff go? But yeah, it's cool, and I'm glad that it's a little more out there.
Yeah, something else that's really cool in my mind is the EU is looking at AI and what it can and should actually be used for. And here's Aaron to give us some more info on that.
The European Union is considering banning the use of artificial intelligence for a number of purposes, including mass surveillance and social credit scores. This is according to a leaked proposal that is circulating online, first reported by Politico ahead of an official announcement expected next week. If the draft proposal is adopted, it would see the EU take a strong stance on certain applications of AI, setting it apart from the US and China. Some use cases would be policed in a manner similar to the EU's regulation of digital privacy under the GDPR legislation. What are your thoughts? AI for all, or some restrictions to start with? Let us know, nerds.
Most people don't know that Aaron is actually an AI. Like he is. We deep fake a layover of some guy just to kind of like have a backdrop, but really he doesn't even exist.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, he developed Skynet for us, and now we have Skynet do just his segments for us. It's great.
That's right. Everyone needs overlords. Unpopular opinion. Got it. So, yeah, no, I think this is interesting. I don't know, man. This is tough for me because there's a lot of, you have characters even like, and he's a character, Elon Musk, who's kind of long been an opponent of just wide open AI use. And this gets back to you and I talk about this a lot. Like, do I think I'm the smartest person in a given room? Usually I will say no, right? Like I like to come in like and with some humility. And so when somebody like Elon Musk is concerned about this and clearly has a lot more experience with high tech and silicon and all those pieces coming together, I don't know. I tend to lean towards whatever the guy says.
Yeah, I think I lean heavily that way as well. And that I really do think that we should restrict AI to certain things. And there should be legislation around that. Without having some sort of like bumpers, like on the bowling lane, like this could go like really, really bad very, very quickly for the common person, which is really what we should be concerned with here is how does it affect me, you, our families, like, and people in our community. Yeah, and so this isn't banning AI like outright. I think that's really important to say. Like this is just like in very niche scenarios of like social like ranking and things like that that certain platforms will use to just kind of like target certain things at other people, which is very unhealthy. So I am 100% happy to see this. I really kind of want to keep following this, and I will keep following this to kind of see where this goes. But I think this is a really positive step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Maybe not such a positive step is a lot of PS3 users are starting to find that the time is near for the death of their console. And to tell us more about that, it's Chad again.
Last week, PlayStation announced they're going to be shutting down the servers as well as the online store for PlayStation 3. Now, that is a big deal if you enjoy playing video games with subpar graphics on the PS3, because when the battery dies, which that battery in that machine only lasts 20 years, and voila, here we are, it's 20 years, you will not be able to sync your firmware when the battery dies with their servers, making your PS3 obsolete like a VHS player. But have no fear. I'm sure you can run down to the Salvation Army or Goodwill and pick up a Nintendo 64 that doesn't have this issue, so you can still keep playing video games on a subpar graphics card. And back to you guys.
Oh, snap. You just got clowned on by Chad.
How dare he insult the N64, one of the greatest consoles of all time?
This is true. Thanks. GoldenEye. Come on.
But,
interesting enough, there was something I saw that there's a guy that basically did a port of GoldenEye, and it was like it was magnificent. Like when you compared them side by side, like it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun. But I don't think it ever got greenlit or allowed to like see the light of day. But we can always hold hope. But yeah, I think it's interesting. At the end of the day, these consumer appliances have a lot more in common with our kind of old 46 desktops and stuff than we probably care to admit. And a lot of that, the non-volatile memory is kept non-volatile by a small battery, and something so simple, it can actually ruin your investment. Granted, your PS3 is probably not worth near what it used to be, but you know what? It's yours, you know, and you should be able to play on that, you know, pretty much as long as you want. So I don't know. This was kind of tough. With them shutting down those services and stuff, I get that. But you know, as like they're kind of finishing Flourish, I would have liked to seen them drop a firmware update that just says, okay, you know what, you no longer have to phone home. We're going to let you have free reign basically over your machine.
Yeah. One, I can't believe that the PS3 is 20 years old already. It does not seem like it is that old. But two, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like, just throw your users a bone and say, hey, like, here's this firmware update. You have a week to install it. Cool. If you don't, sorry about you, but like, here you go. Like, yeah, I mean, that just seems like a nice and common thing to do, particularly with like a loyal user base. Like if you're still playing on PS3, like you're a very loyal like customer to Sony. So it's like, come on, guys, like let's throw somebody some bones here and just you know, let them play their PS3. I know they should be playing their PS4 or even their PS5, but just let them play it, okay? Just let them play it.
I mean, let's not forget, Sony is the company that really led the charge on letting you install Linux on your PlayStation. Like that, I don't know. You remember that was a thing, and it's like, so why? I don't know. I don't know why they'd be bashful about doing something like this. So I don't know. Fingers crossed. The good news is, I'm not affected in the slightest by this. I don't have a PS3, so it's fine. But I do think it's interesting because, you know, while it's kind of a ha-ha for PS3 right now, the reality is the same thing could be happening to like Xbox One S's and, you know, things like that I know we both have.
Yeah. Definitely makes me concerned for that, but we still got a while till I have to really, really worry about that. So
Yeah, good point.
Something that is very interesting is that there is this new idea out there of trying to be the YouTube of gaming. And a company named Manicore Games is actually trying to develop something to do just that, where you can kind of plug and play and make your own video games. And here's Aaron with some more info on that.
Core is a platform that aspires to become the YouTube of gaming. Their next step, launching for free in early access this past week. One of Core's main goals is to create an environment where game creators can leverage the Unreal Engine and an archive of previously generated content to more quickly develop and distribute original games. Not only that, but the system also aims to connect players with this vast array of new content. Core is available exclusively on the Epic Games Store and already includes over 20,000 free playable games across a wide variety of genres, including team-based multiplayer shooters, RPGs, and side-scrollers. The system's developer, Manticore Games, says that over 1 million players and creators have used the platform while it's been in alpha over the past year. Sounds like it could be a cool new environment for gamers. What do you nerds think?
I looked at the build environment and some of the stuff that they had from like an IDE kind of their development environment and whatnot. Looks really cool. I've definitely not played around or kind of poked around too much with this, but looking at some of the screenshots, it got me very interested.
Yeah, 100% with you there. I haven't gotten able to like get my hands on it and like get dirty into it, but yeah, this looks really, really cool. It's almost like what Unity wants to be.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I thought of when I first saw this. Is like Unity is another game engine that's different than Unreal, but it is trying to make it easy so you don't have to write a game engine. And so this is just kind of like another layer on top of that, only with Unreal, and it just makes it even that much easier to do to make your own game. And I think that's, one, it's crazy, and two, like it's super, super cool, and it looks really intuitive to just kind of pick it up and go. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I will be spending my free time looking at this for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I feel like we've been building towards this. You know, if you recall like the Disney Infinity and like what they had the toys, right? That you could like set on the thing and like, okay, they would like automagically show up, and then they opened up a toy box mode, right, where you could basically do this, but again, you were limited to kind of like those assets, and you were only going to use, Disney assets that you'd unlock. This is really kind of like that next evolution of that, and man, I mean, if this is done right, and really latches on, I think this is definitely a genre changing element. I think for this generation.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the numbers themselves speak for themselves too, and like really kind of tells the whole story. 20,000 games in a year, over 1 million people playing or using it to create games in a year, and it's in like early alpha. Yeah, if they time this right and have a good rollout, this could be a game changing thing. So,
well, you know what, Neil, let's get out of here and let's go try it out.
Yeah, that's right. Like Matt said, we're going to get out of here. So thank you for joining us on this edition of Tech Talk Tuesday. If you want to read up on anything that Matt and I talked about today, you can find them in the description below. And while you're there, go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow the stream. That way you don't miss any future editions of Tech Talk Tuesday, and you help us reach a larger audience. If you want a question answered live or off air, you can hit Matt or I up on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @TheMattRay, because again, there's only one of him. Please stop telling me that there is more, because that's a scary thought. And my Twitter handle is @NeilTardy, because I am sure that there are more than one of me. It's like evil Morty and regular Morty. Like, there's got to be an evil Neil somewhere, right? So there's. And be sure to join us live next week. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to have you live, love to interact with you guys. But with that, we'll see you next Tuesday.